Virginia during World War II, and I stayed there till I was 3 years old, and I came to D.C., been to D.C. all my life. I went to John Adams School, which was on 19th Street, and they had the foreign students on one side and the American students on one side. I went to Francis Junior High, graduated from Francis Junior High, went to Cardozo High School, and went to Howard University for 2 years. And I worked at St. Elizabeth as a psychiatric assistant. I worked at D.C. Village as a nursing assistant, and I retired from D.C. government 3 years ago. I worked there for 32 years as a caseworker. Then I became a supervisor in 1995, and I had 32 years of service. Now I'm currently working part-time at a company that we try to get Medicaid for people who don't have insurance.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Jones?
What is the most successful thing you've accomplished?
Well, I was sick 3 years ago, and now I'm much better than I was because the doctor had only gave me 6 months to live. I had congestive heart failure, and I had 2 or 3 heart attacks, and I have a defibrillator. Now I'm back, so I can see my granddaughter graduate, 2 of them.
And Ms. Jones, you have the next question, too.
How much have things changed for African American females since the 1960s?
Oh, it has changed a whole lot. When I worked in D.C. government, it was hard for a female to become a supervisor. It took a lot. They had to get the union behind it in order to give us a supervisor position. And then when I was growing up, it was hard for black students to further their education because it was hard to get into college. If you didn't have saved money, if you didn't get a scholarship, you still had to have money for a scholarship.
The other person right here, somebody can ask that question.
What was the most important event that happened during your life?
When Martin Luther King got assassinated and John F. Kennedy got assassinated. When Martin Luther King got assassinated, they was on, how can I say it? You had to be in the house a certain time. And where I lived in Georgetown, they had the National Guards and down there patrolling. So you couldn't really go anywhere. And at that time, I was expecting a baby, and I had to get permission to go to the hospital to have my baby. Yes. Wow.
Did you live through any hard times?
Yes. When I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, during that time, they had little, I couldn't find one, that my mother had little red coins where that you had to go buy. They rationed sugar, and you had to stand in line to get your food. And when I was born, we didn't have icebox, we didn't have refrigerator. We had icebox. A man delivered ice on a wagon with a horse. You got to block of ice. And where we lived at, we had a stove that you had to put coal in and wood to burn in order to cook. And they had other houses, didn't have bathrooms. I didn't see a bathroom until I came to Washington, D.C.
You lived through the Civil Rights Movement. So
Yes.
Can you describe your thoughts, feelings, and experiences?
Well, when we had the Civil Rights Movement, I was all for it, my sister and I, my mother and I. But it changed because when Martin Luther King died, they did all that burning, and they hurt themselves in the neighborhood. They really hurt themselves in the neighborhood because they burned all up and down 14th Street and the stores, and then you didn't have less stores to even go grocery shopping. And that was really hard. And people looting and stealing. It's hard. It was hard.
Did you ever see Martin Luther King or speak to him in person?
Yes, I did. I went to the, make sure I get it right. That Jesse Jackson took over, I went to a Sunday school convention. That's when I met Martin Luther King personally. And we had a nice talk. And that was like in it was in the 50s.
Can you remember anything that you said to him or that he said to you?
I said hi, and he said my name is, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And we spoke. He gave me a hug, and that was it, because the line was long. Everybody was trying to talk to him.
How did you feel during that time of Martin Luther King's assassination?
That's when it really hurt. That's what I was saying when I was pregnant with my son. It was hard because you couldn't go nowhere. You had a curfew. You had to be in the house by 9 o'clock. You couldn't go nowhere. You had to do everything like that. And they patrolled the area. And they were stationed at where I lived in Georgetown, at my old junior high school, Francis Junior High, and they were over there. And they patrolled the streets. You just had to be in the house at the curfew at 9 o'clock.
How have methods of communication changed during your life?
Well, we got modern technology, the computers, and everything. Everything has changed. Because at work, that's when we started going computer. When we got the computer in 1990, because we was doing everything by hand. And we had little small machines, but it's not like the computers now. But now everything is in the computer. And now they're scanning everything now. Since I left, they start scanning.
You were pregnant when Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Yes.
And obviously there was some personal problem because you couldn't go out of the house. But what, apart from your own personal situation, do you remember about that? And how do you think things would have worked out differently had he lived?
If he had lived, I think things would be better than what it is, and I think everybody would come to as a group, a good group, and go on, and things wouldn't be as something doing on this side, something doing on that side. I think it would have been a better communication if Martin Luther King had still been living.
And are you, on the whole, happy with your life?
Yes. I'm still here. Yes.
All right. And what message would you have for students in your granddaughter's generation?
For their generation, do as a grown, take the advice that a grown person give you, because it would help you on in life. Don't take the negative if they're telling you something. Be positive what they tell you, because you need that as you get on going to college, because it's going to be a lot of things in college. You're not going to like what the professor say, and you're going to have, you need to listen. This is what y'all need to do, listen, and stay off the texting. I'm serious. You need to listen.
Mama, you're talking to the class, not just me.
Yeah, everybody. You need to listen. You have to listen. You have to listen. You can't be thinking about, oh, it's so nice day out there, I wish I was outside. You have to listen. Because things change every day. Every day. Look at the prime example of, well, this was before your time. He was the secretary when Clinton and the plane crashed.
Ron Brown.
John Brown. Things would have been better if John Brown, because he was the first black.
Ron Brown.
Ron Brown. He was the first black secretary, and they finally named the street after him about 2 weeks ago, down there by the where the mayor is. They finally named the street, just like they named the street after Marvin Gaye. People that has done things in life. You can go ahead and motivate yourself, and you can succeed. Take everything in stride.
All right, Ms. Brown, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, anybody else have any other questions? Ms. Brown, are you a gardener? Do you plant any flowers?
Nope.
'Cause I have some seeds left over from.
Only person gardener is my son. I do nothing. I used to cook. Don't cook no more. My son does all the cooking. Tiana tell you, I don't cook no more. I don't even cook. I don't even go in the kitchen no more. He's such a good cook. I just like that.
And is there anything you'd like to talk about that we didn't ask you?
Well, that's why, okay, I'm gonna talk about my son. Now, you have to have a strong constitution to keep on going. The son I'm talking about, we lived together. I didn't know after I got well that he had breast cancer and prostate cancer. And he has not let this get him down. He's on the go. That's what I'm saying. He stay busy. He still work on cars. And he's keep going. He's really motivated. And you have to be really motivated. That's the same way with me. When I have heart trouble, I'm keep on going. I got diabetes and everything, but you have to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going. And also, he was shot in 1985 in the head, and he's still going on. And he hasn't had a seizure in over 20 years, and he's really doing good. If you look at him, you couldn't tell it that he's that sick. I mean, he has those ailments. You got to be motivated. Got to be motivated. And what gave me the will to keep on going, he would come in my room every day.
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine. Her and her brother, because I got to the point I was tired of taking all that medicine. Then I got to thinking one day, I said, no, it's not my time to go. But and I said I wanted to see her graduate and some of my grandkids graduate. So I had two. She's graduating, and she has a cousin that's 16. She's graduating. And she did homeschooling. And they skipped her. She did homeschooling. And she lives in Pittsburgh. She did. So that's what I'm saying. You have to keep that education going. You have to keep it going. If you get your associate degree, go ahead and get your master. Go ahead. And I have one grandson I'm very proud of. He's my oldest grandson. He graduated from Norfolk State, and he has his bachelor, and he has it in the graphic arts. And you gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on. Don't stop. Don't let nobody stop you. And don't listen to that negative stuff people tell you. And don't hang with the wrong crowd, because that will carry you down. How many of y'all graduated? What grade you in?
11.
Keep going. Don't think about them little boys. What grade?
12.
Okay.
11.
Keep going. Do good on your SAT when you take your exam. That's right. Stay away from the little boys because they get you in trouble. And the little girls will get you in trouble too.
You got a long way to go.
Yeah, you do.
What grade you in?
Dang.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When you finish, you're going to be the top of that 12th grade class when you graduate. Don't worry about it. Keep on doing what you got to do.
Don't flat out, man.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I was in 9th grade.
I remember when you was in kindergarten.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, she was really cute. She was really good. All the way, she has never been a problem. Her mother has never been to school, and I have never. Only time I had to go get her when she was ill. But she good. She's good.
What happened?
She can be bad when she wants. Her and her brother just hit heads.
All right, well, let's all thank Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
And I'll take those seeds. I'll put them in my front yard.
All right.
That's your water. Give me a. You can have it.